The phrase from Kingsville to Beeville, from Alice to Corpus Christi. I invented that phrase about 20 years ago, and that's where the fog is right now. So the winds are very calm, almost still this morning. However, by this afternoon, they're going to start getting a little bit stronger out of the south. That's why all of us are in a very mild weather pattern, looking for temperatures well into the 70s today. And then tomorrow, yes, on Saturday, we're looking for the 80s. So it's going to be a very warm weekend as we warm up in advance to the next storm system. The cloud cover, of course, is thick right along the coastal band. Looks like Austin, Waco have clear visibility, and then we'll check on their visibilities in a second. The big picture, well, you can see all the stormy weather going up the Atlantic seaboard right about there. They even have some snow in the higher elevations of the Carolinas. Now, for us, it's a combination of this, which would be Arctic air, and this, which would be a Pacific storm. These two are going to merge and have something to do with your weather next week. Now, in the short term, we're talking the weekend, no major problems in terms of precip for us, but you can see how that storm slams into the west coast, becomes another big Pacific storm, Rocky Mountain snowstorm, and then when it pulls in this cold air out of the north, that's when things get a little bit complicated. It looks like a dry front right about now, but we are going back into the chill. Here's what we have today: area of lower pressure pulling away, drier air coming in aloft, so we're going to see a lot more sun for the next day or so. At the surface, the stronger winds will start increasing, or the south winds will start increasing, getting strongest on Sunday and Monday. So if mariners, if you want to get out on the boat, I'd go on Saturday morning and not on Sunday. So warm weather as we get into Saturday and Sunday. Sunday night, the frontal system is up here. Looks like it'll be blowing through here on Monday, and it's going to be a little chilly next week. So we've got a big roller coaster here. We're going up to 80 today and tomorrow. On Monday night is when the front comes in, strong, cold north winds blowing, but it'll be dry, and we're looking for windy and cold weather, even a couple of days down into the upper 30s, and of course, barely getting up to about 60 degrees. So we start with the soupy weather, we'll have a warm weekend, and then it gets cold next week. That's your 7-day forecast brought to you by NEC Co-op Energy. Back in a moment.
Chocolate lovers, this one's for you. So General Mills has just launched a Hershey's Kisses cereal. According to a representative for the company, the new cereal has a, quote, nice light crunch and smooth chocolate flavor. Hershey's Kisses cereal retails for $3.99 for a mid-size box and $4.99 for a family-size box. The cereal is available at select retailers now and will become more widely available next month.
And Pepsi is adding a little kick to its collection of soft drinks. 12-ounce cans of Pepsi Cafe will arrive on shelves in April, but only for a limited time. The coffee-infused cola beverage has nearly twice as much caffeine as regular Pepsi. Coca-Cola has its own version available internationally, but has not announced a U.S. launch.
Pretty interesting. Well, here's a question. What do kids really want for the holidays this year? Liz McLaughlin shows us the hottest toys this season, even some that your kids can learn from.
Online obsessions are driving the toys-topping holiday wish lists.
I've seen Baby Shark plush toys and come in all shapes and sizes, bath toys, and even toys like this Fingerlings Baby Shark.
Baby Shark!
Robots are all the rage.
What's the plan?
Including wearable Pixie Bells. Cubby the For Real Bear may be a child's and parents' new best friend.
It helps kids go to sleep, where there's a sleep mode that starts to play lullabies and he yawns a lot.
LOL Surprise has been a top seller over the last few holidays, and the unboxing trend is evolving.
One of the hottest toys of the year is called Bloom.
When the water drops, kids unveil a doll by growing it out of a flower pot.
Let it go. Let it
Licensed toys are also outpacing industry growth, with new Frozen and Star Wars movie releases driving additional sales. STEM toys remain popular with kids and parents, integrating science, tech, engineering, and math in toys like this hedgehog robot that kids can build and program.
We call this stealth learning. So kids are playing their toys and they're actually getting to learn some scientific principles and they're not even realizing it.
Sneaky skill building to keep young brains busy over the winter break. Liz McLaughlin, NBC News.
Well, good morning, everybody. Your traffic is brought to you by Sames Ford. The story is the fog. Yes, sirree. Here is a live picture on 37 at Suntide. Thanks to CCRV, it's 56 degrees, but can you see anything? Visibilities are down to 1/8 of a mile in many areas of the city, so you're going to have trouble getting around. And it's not just Corpus Christi. We're looking at Rockport. They've got the thick fog, and in fact, the thick fog's all the way down to Kingsville. So driving, take your time. Don't go too fast. You could miss an exit. I'm serious. It's that thick. Well, how long will this last, and what does the weekend look like? We'll be talking about that coming up in just one moment.
Chris 6 News Sunrise continues.
Welcome back, 5:33, and a lot of people have opinions on how the city's west side should be developed over the next 10 to 20 years. Many of them showed up at a public meeting last night. It's all part of the city's effort to create a long-term development plan. Now, among the topics discussed were future land use, what kind of housing is needed, and where to put it. Another big issue for residents involved being able to spend more time outdoors without becoming the victim of a crime.
Southside, you can just walk out and go to like a safe trail. You know, there's a lot of area to like walk around, have fun, and be active and go for a run and encourage like a healthy lifestyle. But here, you walk down the street and it's a little dangerous.
City planners will take the feedback and come up with a vision for the west side. Meetings inviting additional input will take place in the coming months. In fact, the next meeting should be sometime in the spring.
We do have an update this morning on the officer-involved shooting last week in Ingleside on the Bay. The burglary suspect that was shot, 22-year-old Miles Tackett, has been released from the hospital and is now being held in the San Patricio County Jail on charges of burglary of a vehicle and aggravated assault of a peace officer. He was shot on December 4th while a San Patricio County deputy and an Ingleside police officer were investigating reports of break-ins. Tackett was reportedly armed with a gun and was shot when he refused to drop it. In other news, after almost 2 days on the run, police say the man who killed a Houston area officer is back in custody. 21-year-old Tavoris Henderson was found and arrested yesterday. Investigators say Henderson killed Sergeant Kea Sullivan during a traffic stop Tuesday night. Henderson reportedly fled as Sullivan was trying to arrest him, jumping into a vehicle and running over her. Investigators say others in the case will be charged, including Henderson's own mother.
His mother aided him that night in escaping. She is charged with hindering. She also lied to the sheriff's deputies that night. Her boyfriend drove the car that helped him escape. He is being charged with third-degree hindering.
Henderson was originally facing a felony murder charge, but that has now been upgraded to capital murder.
Well, many people were issued a blue alert on their cellular device as law enforcement began its search for Henderson. The blue alert was launched in 2008 under former Texas Governor Rick Perry. It was created to let residents across the state know when an offender who has killed or seriously injured a federal, state, or local law enforcement officer in the line of duty is on the run.
The blue alert is going to be put out to most anybody, not just law enforcement, but also to civilians, along the lines of an amber alert, a silver alert, or the clear alert, which we now have established. The blue alert is going to alert those in the general public and for law enforcement of somebody who may be in danger.
Okay, so most people have heard about amber or silver alerts, but there are also a few others. There's the endangered persons alert, which is sent when someone other than a child has been abducted. The camo alert notifies the public of a missing current or former member of the United States Armed Forces or the National Guard. And the clear alert is issued to assist law enforcement in locating and rescuing missing, kidnapped, or abducted adults who may be in immediate danger. Texas is one of the 34 states that currently has that DPS alert system in place.
Now to a nightmare for one family who said they had just bought a security camera for their children's bedroom when it was hacked.
Who is that?
I'm your best friend.
Well, that voice you just heard came from the LeMay family's newly installed Ring camera. The security system was hacked and the person began talking to their 3 little girls, repeatedly claiming to be Santa Claus and telling them to do things like break their TV, even taunting them with strange music. Their father unplugged the device to stop the stranger from potentially watching them. It had been installed for less than a week.
I watched the video, and I mean, like, they could watch them sleeping, they could have watched them changing. I mean, they could have seen all kinds of things.
Well, definitely concerning. A Ring spokesperson says hackers often reuse stolen or leaked passwords from one service on other services. To protect your privacy, security experts say you should use a strong and unique password, change them often, and set up 2-factor authentication. Well, now to some news from Capitol Hill. A House Judiciary Committee is set to vote on impeachment articles today following a marathon debate that went late into Thursday evening. The committee will hold 2 votes, one on President Trump's alleged abuse of power and the other on obstruction of Congress during the impeachment inquiry. The vote was supposed to happen yesterday, but it was delayed after committee chairman Jerry Nadler suddenly ended debate and postponed the vote until this morning. If the committee votes to approve the articles of impeachment, they will go for a full House vote in the House of Representatives.
A massive sinkhole opens up in Florida, swallowing a minivan with 2 people inside. That sinkhole appeared in Orlando. Officials say a water main break is to blame. Now, the van was being sucked further and further into the hole when some folks stopped to help rescue the 2 passengers inside. One person who lives nearby says his wife drove by that spot just moments before the van fell into the road. As it turned out, in all of that, no one was hurt. New video shows a Scotland police officer's escape after high winds toppled a truck onto his patrol car. That happened on a highway Tuesday morning. Now, in that footage, you can see the big truck falling over. It then smashes onto the car, and somehow that police officer was able to walk away with absolutely no injuries. Time now 5:39. We're going to send it back to Mac and talk a little about that fog that's out there this morning.
Thank you, Mike. How was the journey over the bridge this morning?
From the other side of the bridge, it was as bad as I have ever seen.
It is that bad.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I'm coming up crosstown and I'm thinking, is this my exit? No, it's not my exit. So things that you think are normally easy to travel are going to be complicated because this is a live shot in Beeville and they've got thick fog. We've got very thick fog here in the city. As you head out the door, we're looking at 58 degrees, so it's a little bit milder because that's the Gulf air, but the winds have settled down. It's calm right now, and of course, with 100% humidity, everything is condensing out where you and I are. So it's going to be a tough row to go this morning with visibilities pretty much all over the place. In the soupy category, we're looking at Rockport a quarter mile, 1/8 of a mile out at the airport, Kingsville coming in at a quarter mile as well. So especially out in the country roads where there's no lights to get your bearing, just slow your speed down. There's no need for speed if you can't see, okay? So let's just all be cautious as we drive into work or school this morning. Winds are very calm right now, but today they're definitely going to be out of the south. And with that south wind, we begin the warming trend that we've been talking about for a couple days. Here are the forecast highs around the area. You can see Texas is going to be probably the warmest spot in the country. Right now, we're looking at 75, 80 degrees in most areas. Now, here you see the cloud deck that's rolling up into our area. It's not at San Antonio just yet, but if you're driving north on 37, it'll be soupy probably all the way to the Bexar County line. So it is pretty much same problem in Houston and same problem in the valley. So everybody's got fog to deal with this morning. Taking a look at the big picture here, we got a little piece of Arctic air. Remember, when it comes straight out of the north, that's the real cold stuff. And if it comes out of the northwest, well, it packs a little milder air, but a lot more moisture. Well, these two are going to merge, and it's going to be the next big snowstorm for the country. You can see it coming in right about here over the weekend. Not a problem for us yet. However, on Monday, it becomes a problem for us. And the reason is, as this Arctic air, you can see the 11s and the 17s there, merges with this storm system that's going to get pulled down into our region. And so we're looking for a big chill for next week. So here we go. Flip-flops, t-shirts, board shorts today, and winter coats by Tuesday. So here's a look at your extended outlook. Big roller coaster on the temperature here. 78 today, up to 83 on Sunday. Still warm on Monday, but Monday night, next cold front, we're looking for a winter chill rolling back into the coastal bend by Tuesday of next week. That is your 7-day forecast brought to you by NEC Co-op Energy. Back in a moment.
Mic check, 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6. Hold on. One two 1 2.
Well, good morning. You know, a college graduation ceremony really evokes a lot of special memories, not only for the graduates, but also for their family and friends. And that's why Del Mar College providing a rebroadcast for folks who couldn't attend the registered nurse pinning ceremony on Wednesday night, which is what you're looking at right here, or tonight's fall commencement ceremonies. Rebroadcast of both these ceremonies can be viewed on Spectrum Channel 1301, Grande Cable Channel 19, or AT&T's UVerse Channel 99. And Del Mar TV will live stream the fall 2019 commencement from American Bank Center starting at 7 p.m. tonight. Have yourself a great Friday. We'll see you back here tonight at 6.
Now, Mike, this next story is really special. Every December, all 50 states take part in the National Wreaths Across America program to honor our deceased veterans.
Now, you know, there are typically about 1 million folks who step up to volunteer to try to help with that. Their job is to lay wreaths on headstones at national cemeteries. Roland Rodriguez joins us live from the Coastal Bend Veterans State Cemetery. And Roland, I imagine a lot of folks are going to want to help this year, too.
Good morning, guys, and good morning, South Texas. And the Veterans Cemetery expect a lot of help. When they first started this event back in 2012, they only laid about 300 wreaths. This coming weekend, they're expected to lay more than 2,000 wreaths. On Saturday, December 14th, starting at 11 a.m., the Wreaths Across America ceremony at the Coastal Bend Veterans State Cemetery is set to remember and honor America's veterans through laying of the remembrance wreaths on the graves. The purpose of that is to honor, remember, and to teach. This event is sponsored by the Veterans Band of Corpus Christi, and they need plenty of volunteers to help lay wreaths for more than 2,600 of our country's fallen heroes.
Even if you don't have any veterans in your family, I will invite the public to come and join us placing a wreath for every veteran's headstones.
Now listen up, if you're planning on attending, guests are asked to arrive early as parking within the cemetery is very limited. There will be additional parking at the Tolosa Midway Primary School off of 3125 Deer Run Circle. That's about half a mile from the cemetery. This year, the Coastal Bend Veterans State Cemetery teamed up with the Corpus Christi Regional Transportation Authority to help shuttle those who will be attending this year's event. And of course, if you'd like to volunteer, all you have to do is visit our website later this morning to see how you can volunteer. It's pretty simple. Mac?
Everybody, your traffic is brought to you by Sames Ford. It wasn't real obvious there where Roland is, but the fog is a big problem this morning. We're looking at our live camera in the Kingsville area where it's 55 degrees. It's very soupy, less than a quarter-mile visibility in most areas. Live camera also at 37 in Suntide. There you are. Now, if you're going 65 miles an hour, how quickly are you going to be able to react, A, to lighting other cars and finding your exit? It's going to be a problem. So I'm telling you, you need to reduce your speed this morning because the fog is very thick all over the Coastal Bend. We'll be talking more about the fog and, of course, when it'll lift and what the weekend looks like. All that in just a moment.
Welcome back. Well, Driscoll Health Plan is holding a special holiday get-together for moms-to-be later today. The event will provide health tips for women and expecting mothers. There will also be healthy refreshments. There will be games, pictures with Santa, and an opportunity to make your baby's first Christmas ornament. It is a free event. It's open to everyone, and it's happening 10:30 at the Boys and Girls Club of the Coastal Bend on Greenwood Drive.